This is a learning in 10-minute review on supraventricular tachycardia. My name is Sarah Plummer, and I'm a pediatric cardiology fellow at Duke University Medical Center. The learning objectives of this talk are for the viewers to be able to understand the definition of SVT and be able to recognize it based on ECG appearance. We'd like you to be able to have a basic understanding of the mechanisms of the different kinds of SVT and recognize the presenting signs and symptoms of a patient in SVT. We'd like you to briefly be able to describe the acute and long-term management options for SVT. We'll briefly go over the definition of SVT, as well as the epidemiology and pathophysiology of the disorder, and then we'll talk about the presentation, workup, and management of SVT. Supraventricular tachycardia, or SVT, is a tachyarrhythmia, which means it's an abnormal fast heart rhythm. Specifically, it requires the atria and/or atrioventricular node for its initiation and for it to persist. Typically, it has a narrow QRS complex on electrocardiogram. SVT is also typically a regular fast rhythm, meaning that the interval between each beat is constant. SVT typically has abrupt onset and termination, which often helps differentiate it from sinus tachycardia, which is a normal fast heart rhythm. SVT is relatively common and has an incidence of 1 to 3 cases per 1,000. It is more common in females with a male-to-female ratio of 1 to 2. The age of presentation depends on the type of SVT. There are several types that are more common in infants, and a second peak incidence occurs in adolescents. Atrial fibrillation is a type of SVT that is most common in older adults. SVT is often seen in otherwise healthy individuals, but it is associated with numerous conditions, including myocardial infarction, mitral valve prolapse, rheumatic heart disease, pericarditis, and specific types of congenital heart disease. With the use of intracardiac electrophysiology studies, the pathophysiology of the different types of SVT are now better understood. Atrial tachycardias are initiated by one or more abnormal foci in one of the atria that fires fast electrical impulses that are conducted through the AV node to the ventricles, causing a tachycardia that is usually regular. AV reentrant tachycardia, or AVRT, requires the presence of an accessory pathway. This is the type of SVT that is seen in patients with Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. A normal impulse from the atria is conducted through the AV node to the ventricles and abnormally travels up to the atria from the ventricles through the accessory pathway. This will activate the atria before the sinus node has had a chance to fire the next normal sinus beat. This electrical impulse can then continue to travel in this reentry circuit, causing a very fast and regular tachyarrhythmia. AV nodal reentrant tachycardia, or AV-NRT, is seen in individuals who have more than one pathway for impulses to get into the AV node. This extra pathway allows for a reentry to occur within the AV node itself. When this occurs, there's a very fast and regular tachycardia. Atrial flutter is caused by a reentry circuit within the right atrium that causes a fast atrial rhythm. The AV node then acts as a filter and only allows some of the electrical impulses to travel down to the ventricles. This causes a tachycardia that is usually regular. Atrial fibrillation is caused by multiple waves of electricity that travel across the atria. Again, the AV node acts as a filter, allowing only some of the electrical waves to travel down to the ventricles. This causes a tachycardia that is typically irregular and rapid. Patients can present with a wide range of symptoms. Palpitations are present in nearly all patients who have SVT. Dizziness is also very common. Shortness of breath, syncope, chest pain, fatigue, diaphoresis, and nausea are seen in less than half of patients, but are also significant. It is important to note that symptom severity can vary widely, ranging from minimal to patients who are hemodynamically unstable when in SVT. When seeing a patient where SVT is suspected, it is important to ask about the timing of onset, if there are any obvious triggers, if there have been any previous episodes of palpitations or known arrhythmias, and if the patient has been treated for SVT in the past. When evaluating a patient where SVT is suspected, it is important to perform an ECG as quickly as possible in an attempt to capture the arrhythmia. ECGs can assist in classification of the SVT. It is important to note that P waves may not be visible, but when they are seen, they can aid in the diagnosis. Intracardiac EP studies allow for more specific diagnosis and can identify the location of the accessory pathways or abnormal circuits. It is always important to check electrolyte levels in patients with any type of arrhythmia because electrolyte disturbances will predispose to abnormal rhythms. You should consider a chest X-ray to evaluate for pulmonary edema and cardiomegaly, which may be present if the patient has been in the arrhythmia for some time. An echocardiogram should be considered if there is any concern for structural or congenital heart disease. As mentioned previously, most patients with SVT have pathways that depend on AV nodal conduction. Thus, blocking conduction in the AV node will terminate the arrhythmia. This can be accomplished by having the patient perform vagal maneuvers, administering intravenous adenosine, or with electrical cardioversion. The choice of management depends on the type of abnormal rhythm, the frequency and duration of episodes, the patient's symptoms associated with the episodes, and the risk of sudden death specific to certain types of arrhythmias. In many patients, medical management is a good option for first-line therapy. Typical first-line medications include calcium channel blockers, digoxin, and beta blockers. Ablation is a curative therapy that uses radiofrequency or cryocatheter to focally ablate the crucial component of the arrhythmia mechanism. RFA has a high success rate and a low complication rate. However, it is important to note that the risks do include damage to the AV node itself, which results in complete heart block, making the patient pacemaker dependent. In summary, SVT is a common arrhythmia that originates in the atrium. It is recognizable on ECG as a narrow, complex, regular rapid rhythm that has abrupt onset and offset. There are several different types of SVT that have unique mechanisms. Patients with SVT typically present with palpitations, and an ECG is the most important part of the initial workup. Ablation therapy is typically curative and is often the management of choice.